4 houses, 4 curses, 2 masters of Italian horror, and 1 TV network that said, nope. Welcome to the Media Stand. We're going to talk about the Houses of Doom, 4 made-for-TV movies that did not make it to TV. And we're also going to review Cauldron Films' first box set. And spoiler alert, I love it. In 1989, 4 horror films were produced for Italian TV and then banned from ever airing. Deemed too violent, too weird, and just a little bit too much. This is Houses of Doom, originally titled Le Casa Maledette, a 1989 made-for-Italian TV horror project featuring 4 films directed by horror legends Lucio Fulci and Umberto Lenzi. Though made for television, the films were never broadcast due to their graphic violence and then shelved until released to physical media later. The contradiction of TV broadcasting with the grindhouse nature that the horror masters were known for is what makes this series of films so fascinating. So maybe we'll take like a semi-deep dive into each of these films to explore what's really going on here, why they were banned, but then later revived and became kind of like little-known cult classics. And we'll look at the box set that Cauldron Films put out, their first ever box set, and what I think of this. And we'll go movie by movie. Spoilers for all of these films, because I will get into some details, but I'll try not to spoil everything. So we're going to start with The House of Clocks. Set the eerie tone with a maid who works for an old couple that's obsessed with clocks. The old man wants the maid to get a little personal with him.
You seem just a little nervous today. Is something bothering you? Mm-hmm. Talk it over, my dear. It's better, you know. I'm always ready to give you my counsel. You know I'd like you to think of me as your father. I'm always ready.
You're too kind, sir.
The maid is pretty creeped out by the place and wants to quit, but the old lady doesn't take rejection well. So she kills her by stabbing her right in the uterus. Cut to a group of friends that at first has you go, oh, what a fun trio, until you find out they're all absolute dicks. They rob a convenience store, stuff a cat into a bag, kill it. They're straight up assholes. They had a plan to go rob the House of Clocks by conning their way in, but once they get there, they just barge in and kill everyone. The clocks start goofing and start winding backwards. This starts to undo all the actions that had led up to this point, and even brings the old couple back to life. They go after the trio with their resurrected henchmen as time continues to go in reverse. The events go back so far as to the time when the police showed up at their front door to ask if everything was okay, and it starts to get a little time-loopy, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. And just when the trio think that they're about to get away with everything, karma comes to get us all. It's a tame but entertaining Fulci flick. The effects are great, which is to be expected, but I also expected more. Since these are made for TV, we can excuse that. The film plays with non-linear storytelling as time begins to fold in on itself, and Fulci uses some erratic editing techniques to kind of give the anxiety of how time is unraveling. It's a morality tale wrapped in a supernatural horror where time is maybe the antagonist. All in all, a fun watch. So this brings us to the second Fulci film in the set, The Sweet House of Horrors. That's horrors. Sweet House of Horrors. It's a Fulci film that to me is reminiscent of House by the Cemetery and Manhattan Baby, which is not everybody's favorite, but this one was confusing to me as I couldn't tell if it wanted to be more gory or if it wanted to be more lighthearted. Story is, a couple is murdered by a burglar, leaving their children in the care of their aunt and uncle. The children discover that their parents are now ghosts haunting the house that they live in, so they try to communicate with them.
Sarah, I had a dream just now. There were two pretty little flames flying all around, like two butterflies.
You know, I did too. But these are real. They're real. They're really here.
The dead parents try to trap their kids in the house, and once the realtor tries to put the house on the market, some other dead entities try to prevent that from happening. What follows is a series of events that are actually pretty fun, but seem disconnected from the rest of the story. Or at least from the beginning of the story. By the way, spoiler, the murderer was the handyman, who goes crazy because ghosts remember. One part I really liked was that there was a paranormal expert that was brought in to handle the situation. And he's like, I think he's probably my favorite character in the movie. And oh my god, it's just Italian Beetlejuice. This is just Italian Beetlejuice. Way to go, Fulci.
You prattle of love and you show your weakness. Beings as foul as you can know nothing of love.
You pitiful old fool. Your arrogance is insane. You don't even know yourself. How can you pretend to know the hereafter?
A little bit more emotionally driven than what Fulci's known for, but it's got that gothic nature there. Budget limitations are evident, but I like the effects in it and the way it conveys the supernatural. And if you watch the dubbed version, the kids are just so weird.
Because Mama always said that Papa drove like a nut.
Maybe. Do you think they'll see our little doggy in the sky?
Well, I sure hope they do.
Marky, I bet it's about over.
A fun little watch, but not the best so far. House of Clocks, I think, was more entertaining. So now we move on to the House of Witchcraft, the first of Umberto Lenzi's films in the series. Let's see if we can follow this bizarre tale. Luca has dreams about a witch boiling his head. Luca also has a hot sister-in-law.
I'm also your sister-in-law.
You sure are. You married my brother, and Mark and you made a sensational little daughter together.
Yes, then he went and got himself killed.
You can see the embers of the drama building here already. It also doesn't hurt that Luca's wife is a bitch.
Tell me how things are with you and Martha. In bed, for instance.
Really like to know?
Mm-hmm.
Pitiable.
They travel to a country getaway that looks strangely like the place where the witch lives in Luca's dream. Martha is obsessed with the occult sciences.
Someone took the book away from in there and left those 2 tarot cards in its place.
So much of this film is beautifully set up within the first 15 minutes, and that is just fantastic storytelling. I mean, you have Luca's dream, his nervous breakdown, psychiatrist sister-in-law with dead husband, Luca and Martha's troubled marriage, and Martha potentially being a witch, on top of being a bitch. Where do you go from here? Oh, a bad driver and Martha being terrible.
Look out! He's gonna hit us! Stop! Turn around! Someone may have been hurt.
It's no use. They're dead.
Then the old hag is beating a random priest. There's a cat with an injured paw. Martha has an injured hand. Luca finds a Bible and a weird talisman. Wind blows. Sister-in-law joins. Blind man's daughter Sharon is hot. Elsa might be jealous of Sharon.
By the way, are you falling in love with Sharon?
Huh? No.
The hag starts picking people off. The rest is just weird and out of nowhere. It has a decent ending, and I won't spoil everything, but this is the strongest in the series so far. House of Witchcraft was wild, bizarre, and wacky. There could be a lot to say here about mental health issues, marital struggles, and inherited trauma. But honestly, I think it was just a bunch of fever dream weird shit. And I think builds off of like kind of classic folklore about the old hag who will come after you in your sleep or do whatever. A tale as old as time, one might say. But this was definitely my favorite so far in the series, and one that I would definitely watch multiple times. So now we move to the second Umberto Lenzi film, the last film in the series, The House of Lost Souls. This one is a little bit more straightforward, maybe at its own detriment. We'll start out, there's a girl who has nightmares of Buddha. Oh, she's psychic, by the way. So they're a bunch of geologists traveling to study Paleolithic rocks or something.
Have you ever heard of the calcareous Paleolithic formations of the Reddish Alps around here?
Paleo, eh?
But then a landslide blocks the road and they're trapped. It forces them to stay in a hotel. But the only one they could find is this old hotel along a country roadside in the middle of nowhere.
Good evening, excuse me. The road to Bormio is closed tonight. We were wondering if we could spend the night here.
We'll rough it, honestly.
They get into the building, which from the outside doesn't look very big, but once you're in there, it seems massive. And the girl keeps having visions while the house lures people into isolated areas to, kill them. This is very much a House on Haunted Hill vibe. Come to find out, the owner of the hotel died 20 years ago!
The owner of the Motel del Eremita? Is that what you said?
Yeah, do you know him?
Old Nardi? Everyone around here knew him. He was arrested in 1969 along with his son and daughter for a series of murders committed right there in the motel.
Murders?
Yeah, he killed his clients for their money. Then he'd get rid of the bodies with the help of his son and his daughter-in-law, probably 8 or 9. They're never really sure how many of his clients he murdered. Some say a lot more.
And what happened to him?
He committed suicide a week before the trial. The son died about 2 years ago at an asylum in the East.
And the motel?
It's been closed since then. Nardi had no other relatives. And no one's interested in taking over that kind of place, you know. The Motel of the Horrors. They named it that in the media then.
This one takes a while, but when it revs up, it really revs up.
Oh, God, help me!
God, Guido! Guido!
The ghosts can't rest because their heads are not with their bodies. They were cut off and then collected somewhere else. Now this makes sense as to why the house is trying to kill all the people by decapitating them. So Kevin goes on the hunt for the metal box containing all the heads, and the ghosts get busy.
Help me!
Look out!
God, where are you? Help me!
Think House on Haunted Hill with a hint of Grudge and a hint of Ouija, Origin of Evil. If you're talking about just the filmmaking itself and objective quality of a film, this is maybe the strongest of the four, with the supernatural elements similar to that of The Shining.
Who are you? What are you doing here? Why are you crying?
When it comes to straight up storytelling and capturing it on film. When it comes to fun elements, I would say House of Witchcraft was better, just because it was so just weird and wild. And if you've been watching the channel at all, you know I love that shit. But I will say House of Lost Souls is maybe the best film in the series, followed up by House of Clocks. Houses of Doom might not be top tier for Fulci or Lenzi, but they're fascinating horror relics. You can see the dance that was there between trying to make their normal gory horror fun and what they thought might be dialing it back a little bit for the intention of television broadcast, yet still not meeting the standard that the network apparently wanted. Because you can definitely tell these are a lot more tame than what they usually go for. But too much to make it on the broadcast television. What I could find in looking through the history of it is that the Fulci films did make their way to DVD, and I do remember seeing House of Clocks some point years ago. I do not think that the Lenzi films ever made it to DVD. They might have, not that I could find in looking through different things. What was stated by the people from Cauldron is that both of the Fulci films come with a CD soundtrack of the score from the movies themselves. And they did this because those scores had never made it to a physical release to date. So they wanted to provide that. They said they wanted to make a set that they would want to buy from another studio or boutique label. And I think they did just that. This is a fantastic box set. It is not available anymore, but Cauldron does have a second box set coming out. It's actually been on pre-order for a long time, and I've pre-ordered it. I would recommend you to do the same. It's a bunch of Umberto films. So let's take a little bit deeper dive into the set itself. It does come with this weird narrow O-card thing. I don't really like these types of things, but it's fun. You get... We're going to do the thing. Ready? I'm going to hold it in this hand. Did you hear the solid nature of this hard case? It is thicker than cardstock. It's not too thick, but it is sturdy material that goes around a hard case that holds all 4 cases inside of it. Now, my favorite part about this, now, I don't think I've mentioned this at any point so far, but when it comes to the cases, plastic cases that each set or movie is in, I'm a big fan of these Scavano type cases. Similar to Criterion or Blue Underground used to put a bunch of limited sets out like this, where it does not have the Blu-ray logo border or header at the top, and it's just top to bottom cover, basically. I'm a big fan of this style of case. Scavano is what I call them because that's the brand that generally makes a lot of them. Scanavo. I always get it wrong. I have dyslexia. Scanavo cases. Best part about it, each film has their own individual case. And within that, like I said, the Fulci films come with a CD. All 4 films come with a poster. The interesting thing about the posters is that these never had any marketing material as they were made for broadcast, so they never had posters or one-sheets made. So, the folks at Cauldron decided to hire somebody to make posters for each film. And so, you get a poster for each film. A failed experiment in TV horror that's now a horror treasure, especially for fans of Italian weirdness. They're short, strange, packed full of supernatural flair. That's bizarre in its weird combination of tameness and over the top. So a quick Doom score for each film in the series. This is just my personal review. I would give House of Clocks 3.5 out of 5 Doom clocks. I would give the Sweet House of Horrors 3 out of 5 creepy kids. I'd give the House of Lost Souls like a 4 out of 5 metal boxes. And the House of Witchcraft 4.5 out of 5 old hags. Like I said, if you're looking at objective quality of a film, House of Lost Souls is probably the best made and written. But the House of Witchcraft was just so bizarre. I loved it. My review for the box set itself, Cauldron Films completely knocked it out of the park with their entry into box sets. I give this, honestly, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. And I would say the only thing I'm not a big fan of is the weird O card, which is not that much of a problem. Sometimes people throw it away. Sometimes people leave it on there. I could do without. But you know what? It's a nice little touch. This is a fantastic set. And if you can find it used anywhere, absolutely pick it up. And right now, even though the box set itself is out of print from Cauldron Films, you can pick up all 4 of the individual releases in their standard releases. And I would highly recommend you get these. Also, highly recommend you check out their second box set come soon. I think it's called Brivido Giallo. I already have it ordered, and I cannot wait for that shipment notification. So there you have it. Cauldron Films, the Houses of Doom box set. Quick little review of the films themselves, and a review of the physical media itself. If you enjoyed that, hit like. If you'd like to see more things like this, subscribe. If not, cool. For those of you who have seen me before, welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you've never seen one of my videos before, boy, am I glad you stumbled upon this. Outside of that, go be weird.
Mr.